Welcome to the 611 Films YouTube channel. Welcome back. We are back in 99. My name is David Groves, is one of your hosts, and with me as always, my co-host,
Neil McKay. What is going on?
Neil McKay. We both got a little bit of red going. We're doing a part 1, part 2, Valentine's Day, She's All That, and Never Been Kissed. We're going to kind of start with She's All That, but they're going to maybe meet in the middle, and
I think we're gonna have another teen movie coming up that's gonna. There's a lot. I just noticed that with all of this 99 stuff that come out, there's a lot of common bonds here,
right?
Which I just found interesting. And I had seen both of these movies, Never Been Kissed and She's All That. I saw Never Been Kissed in the theater because I was working at a movie theater, and I was like,
okay.
I mean, didn't really look like my thing, but I was like, hey, I might as well see it. I'm pretty sure I saw She's All That in the theater as well. So it's been a while since I've seen these movies, but like you kind of go and I remember that. And they felt like 90s movies. I mean, did you see them when they came out, or? Okay,
so I'll start with this. I've never seen Never Been Kissed before, so I had to watch
that's right,
that.
you told me that, yeah.
Yeah, a few days ago, I watched that just to check it out. I definitely had seen She's All That, and it is kind of like, sour Valentine's, because I was in high school and I was really, really into this girl. And she also kind of looked a little bit like Rachel Lee Cook, but then she was really into this guy. I'll call him Patrick, and he looked a lot like Freddie Prinze Jr. And I really wanted to ask her to prom, but she really wanted him to ask her to prom. So
it was like... Yeah. That sounds like a 90s teen high school movie.
And these movies are very 90s.
Yeah, they never go the way the 90s movies go. It's like, come on, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Especially like She's All That. And I love the biggest joke of them starting the dancing and Usher's the DJ. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but it was just so funny because I love Not Another Teen Movie, which really kind of rips that, is the satire.
Yeah, and that was, and I'm probably going to bring that movie up a bunch because that's like my little common thread with when I think back of Not Another Teen Movie and how much that might as well have been Not Another 99 teen movie because it just spoofed everything that came out. I mean, not just She's All That, it also spoofed Never Been Kissed, but I mean, Cruel Intentions, Varsity Blues, Jawbreaker, 10 Things I Hate About You, even American Pie, American Beauty, which we've already done. I mean, it was like, holy crap. I mean, it just went to town on these 99 movies.
Yeah. That was great. It was so funny. It was such a funny movie.
And it was so good. Yeah, I want to actually talk more about Not Another Teen Movie than She's All That. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, before we get into all that stuff, because again, probably jump into Not Another Teen Movie again. Well, I know, and I think we mentioned this a little bit with I'm blanking on it. What's the one that Ethan Embry and Jennifer Love Hewitt? Can't hardly wait. So these but that
90s was 98. That was
98, right? Yeah. But I noticed with She's All That, Never Been Kissed, and everybody's like into these costumes and 10 Things I Hate About You. Everybody's like dressing up as stuff and going to these like crazy parties with these costumes and these wardrobes and the set pieces and everything. Like, nobody had money like that in the 90s. Yeah. I certainly did when I was in high school. Like, what is going on? Like,
oh, dude, yeah, the lavishness.
Or DJs, I was going to mention, like Usher is the DJ. Like, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say that too. It was like the lavishness, the money, and it's like you could kind of get away with it with She's All That. Never Been Kissed did the same thing, but they were in Chicago as the setting for Never Been Kissed. But with She's All That, it was California. I guess the ritziest parts of that are kind of in Beverly Hills or something to that effect. But yeah, I'm like, your budgets for these proms.
I never saw any school dance that looked anything like any of that stuff. Like,
if you got a banner, if there was a banner and the DJ was paid, and then there was a couple like nice things on the tables, you got some food. That's it. That's all it was.
There was no. Yeah, there certainly wasn't Usher or some smooth guy. There was usually some idiot like fumbling around, like, they're playing some crappy music, and you're just like, why am I even here? But I had to make a point of that because I'm just like, wait, that's not what the 90s were like, and what they wore too. Like, it was like colorful and pastels and stuff. People were wearing t-shirt and jeans back then. Come on now.
Oh yeah, and it was it was also just that weird thing when you're a teenager. Again, we should say, aside from the ideas of Lady Boggs, she's all like Rachel Lee Cook actually looks like she could be 17, 18, maybe even younger. But then you have Freddie Prinze Jr. and you have Paul Walker, and they're 26, 27. And the greatest bodies in the world. And then, with the outfits that they had, I was like, no, it was simple dresses, simple tucks. You get these things at like Burlington Coat Factory, where I'm like, even for that, it was just like, wow, you spent a lot of money. But I think that was sort of the charm of those types of movies. The big prom, the big lavish thing with the outfits too.
Well, it really was like movies that made you kind of escape reality, and it was like, okay, that was the fun of it. It was the suspension of disbelief because this wasn't real life, and then all these fairy tale endings and these beautiful people and these beautiful settings, and you're like, I mean, of course this wasn't. But it just when I'm back at like 90s movies, I just always go like, oh my god, like these were so far fetched and like outside of reality, like. And then like you were saying, like the beautiful people. I mean, that's why it was so funny with Not Another Teen Movie was they're spoofing it, and then you got Chris Evans. That was the first time I ever saw Chris Evans. I mean, I know he's like etched in people's mind as Captain America, and he's sitting there, he's like, oh no, she's got a ponytail and glasses, and she's got paint on her overalls, and it's the worst thing in the world. And it's like, are you serious? Like,
and that was the ugly girl. It's like that. It's like. Yeah, it's like Rachel Lee Cook, who's a little shorter but has a pretty decent body and long hair. And it's like, no, I can't deal with this girl. I can't deal with that girl. Oh, she's got glasses.
It's like, she was beautiful, and I mean, they put her on the poster, and I'm like, I'm sorry, is this girl supposed to be ugly? Like, how? Yeah. There's no way. There's just no way. Like, and they even did that to a degree with Drew Barrymore and Never Been Kissed. Like, she was this nerdy. I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, she had glasses and she was like very like clumsy and stuff, but it's like, come on, she's still a cute girl. You can't stop this, craziness where.
Oh, of course.
To believe that Drew Barrymore and Rachel Lee Cook were like these dorks and nobody liked them. And I'm like, come on now.
Even with the lavishness, the craziness of a high school movie, she's all that still, is a little bit more grounded. Never Been Kissed. Ugh.
Never Been Kissed is a little bit. Before we move on to Never Been Kissed, I want to. Yeah. Do you remember? Because I remember the trailer for She's All That was like played ad nauseum in the fucking song. You Kiss Me, the Sixpence None the Richer. Do you remember that more or the movie more? Because that damn song Kiss Me is like synonymous with that movie.
It is. It truly is. It would be like something. I remember editing some fraternity videos when I went to Mason, and anytime the Jimmy Eat World song comes on, I'm like, I used that for a video. And it's like been 20 years later. And it's like, yeah, it's that thing where you hear a song that was from a soundtrack and you're like, right.
And you know. And I mean, there's plenty of songs that have been famous but like that one is just, you can't hear that without thinking of that movie. Sure. I feel like even if they played it on the radio, like you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's She's All That song.
Oh, absolutely.